Welcome in everyone to another live episode of 410 Sports Talk. I'm Glenn Martin here with my co-host James Haskell, and we're excited to get into this episode. Last we spoke, we went over everything that happened in training camp up to August 2nd when we were at training camp this past Tuesday. So in this episode, we're going to cover what's happened since that day. So August 3rd. Which was Wednesday. And of course, today, August 4th, go over all the notes, who practiced, who didn't, who was the practice standouts, who were the guys who might want to, have a couple plays back from this past couple days. We're going to get into all that soon. But before we do, give us a like, hit the subscribe button, and of course, click the notification bell so we can keep you up to date on all your Ravens news. But Jimbo, where should we start when going over?
Well, I also want to mention one more thing, Glenn.
Yeah.
For all the folks that are getting excited about football season, just like us, our partner PrizePicks is really doing a good job at prepping us all for the preseason and into the season. So right now is the time to get in, use our promo code 410 and get a match deposit up to $100. So go to, PrizePicks, download the app, literally put in four numbers, 410, and get up to
four numbers.
Did I say four? Oh gosh,
that's
three numbers.
Clearly only three numbers.
Three numbers being 410. You see where my head went there. So go ahead and do that and use that promotion code. Get $100 for free. I'm excited to dabble a little bit this season.
Yeah, man.
My mom isn't too excited about me doing it. She's worried I got the gambling gene, but we'll just dabble. Good. Glenn will keep me under control.
Well, one thing I know about you, Jimbo, is you have incredible self-control. Okay.
I appreciate that you think that.
Well, I've seen you in action, Jimbo. I've seen you turn down a dessert or two. I
haven't had a peanut butter jelly since we came home from Maine as well.
What?
Dude, shredded season, bro. I'm coming.
Alert the presses. Holy smokes. This is breaking news. If Jimbo is not eating PB&Js, you must be on one of those crazy diets. But anyway, we're not here to talk about
but go check out PrizePicks.
Yes,
for sure. Go check it out. The season is ramping up. This is the time. Get in, get oriented. That way, by the time the season comes around, you're hitting the ground running, and you can do some baseball stuff now as a warm up, right?
There you go. And continue to ride the Orioles as they continue to be doubted, undervalued. But we're also gonna, when the season gets a little closer, go over some good bets. The season bets, the
odds for the Ravens in the Super Bowl are relatively good right now. In that good, if you're a bettor and you believe in the Ravens, also chances to win the AFC North. There's a lot of things. Lamar to win the MVP. If you're a believer in that, you got good odds as far as making a good return on investment. So there's a lot of good ones out there. Go check it out. PrizePicks. You can use the app. You can go on their website. Just use three numbers, 410 in the promo code section. Not four, just three.
All right, cool. So let's get back into the training camp notes. I figure the place we'll start is last time we spoke during the show, it was announced that David Ojabo had signed his rookie deal with the Ravens. Being the final member of not just the Ravens rookie class, but the entire rookie class to ink a deal with their team. So it's nice to see, although Ojabo is not going to be participating in team drills yet as he continues to recover from the Achilles, he's, of course, able to now join his team for all the meetings, which as a rookie, they're invaluable. That information is invaluable. Mike McDonald talked about, getting David back into those meetings and said that every moment is important for a rookie. And David is no different from that. So, but to make room for his addition to the 90-man roster, the Ravens did release undrafted free agent wide receiver Trayvon Clark out of California. So good luck to Trayvon and his travels as he continues to try and play professional football. But that's the move that made this space for Ojabo. So it's nice to see the whole rookie class is now in the building, working to get better. If that isn't me on the field, then certainly off the field in Ojabo's case.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I agree with you there, and I'm glad to see he's back in the fold. Also want to mention that, we like Glenn said, we want to talk about August 3rd and today. There's some absences, of course, that occurred. There's obviously pup list guys, but Duvernay was still out. Kohler, of course. Nick Moore, who is it that big of a deal? I don't know.
He is the long snapper, Jimbo.
Yeah, but I mean, is it that big of a deal that he missed? Right. Like, I guess what I'm trying
not
to
one
say
day.
Right. If it's a serious injury, my point is that like I don't know how much ramp up time you need to like
be a
get
long
in shape
snapper.
to be a long snapper.
Well, let's hope they at least had another guy in the building that could perform the duties. That way, the punter and kicker on the roster could do their job.
Yeah, well, they always got Sam Cook as a coach, and we know Sam can do everything. So,
that's a good point. That's a good point.
Just Sam throw on the pads in an emergency type scenario and long snap it to yourself. You can hold it, and then Justin will kick it. Something
there you
like
go.
That. But that's so I decided this, Glenn. I was actually going to say something.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say some things as far as my opinion goes about injuries, but I decided because we're also going to report the fact that unfortunately Vince Beagle has torn his Achilles, which it's gut wrenching for this guy. 3 years in a row, 3 season-ending injuries. I mean,
terrible.
Had a great camp thus far. Coach was really excited about him. We were really excited about his contributions. Shout out to him in that our thoughts are with you. We hope that you recover and have a speedy and full recovery and get to keep fighting for your dream. But this much I'll say, as soon as I said that we're relatively healthy, bam, something happened. Look, so I'm done. I'm just going to report on it and not give my opinion.
Don't take it so hard, Jimbo. This is a sport where there is a 100% injury rate, okay? So it's only a matter of when.
PK.
It's not if, it's when you will get injured as a member of the National Football League. So don't be so tough on yourself. But yeah, it's a bummer for Vince Beagle. I mean, it's a guy who has fought back from multiple injuries, and so you kind of heart breaks for him. But as far as what it does to affect the Ravens on the field, the bummer behind that is that Vince Beagle's a guy, we talk about the Ravens love the versatile players, and Vince Beagle was perfect for in regards to the fact that he can play inside or outside linebacker. So, you only have to keep one guy in Vince Beagle to virtually play two roles where, a lot of times a guy's either an inside backer or an outside backer, not both. So it also could affect the Ravens' depth down the line.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a bit of a bummer.
Does this mean JPP's coming to town?
Well, certainly the chat thinks that's what it means.
Yeah.
I mean, they got the cap space, at least in theory, to get him in here. So, yeah, I mean, the need is now increased, although I'm not sure how much Beagle brings as a pass rusher,
right?
Which is mainly what, JPP will be brought in and expected to do. But, yeah, why not? Let's bring him in and, let's see what happens. But a couple other good news. Yesterday, returning to practice after a vet day off on August 2nd was Kevin Zeitler, Morgan Moses, and tight end Nick Boyle. So all three of those guys are back. And then Calais missed on Wednesday, but most expected that to just be a vet day. So nothing to be concerned with. But something that some Ravens fans are concerned with coming out of August 3rd's practice is Kyle Hamilton's he's getting beat up pretty good. He had a pretty tough day in one-on-ones. Apparently, he lost all three of his one-on-one matchups, including two that went for a touchdown. And then he left practice early after landing awkwardly in coverage. Tried to stretch it out and gut it out, but didn't end up getting back out there. Or he got out there for one rep and then was gone again. Any concern growing with the Saturday practice where he had the video where he got burnt by the young guy, and then now again losing a bunch of one-on-ones? Any growing concern, Jimbo?
No, because you're reporting on the 3rd still, right? Yeah.
Yep, we're still on the 3rd.
Today, I mean, so I don't know how the best way I can answer this is if you fast forward to today.
Yeah.
Right. Like
what happened today, Jimbo?
Yeah, apparently he was locking some people down.
Okay.
So, no, I mean, that has me less concerned. If you would have asked me that 24 hours ago, still no. I'm not concerned. I'm just not concerned. He's a young kid. He's his first year. I don't care if you're the number 1 pick, you're the 199th pick. It's an adjustment period. It just is, right? When you were the guy and everyone else was Joe Blow, and now everyone you're playing with was the guy, there's an adjustment period. But I trust in the Ravens staff and the ability to evaluate players, and I think the kid's going to be great, and I'm excited for it. So no, I'm not. I'm still zero concern at this point for Kyle Hamilton. Just want him to be healthy and available out there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's not like the Ravens are necessarily needy when it comes to safety and depth. So it's not like this guy is going to
Right.
be asked to
Thrusted
be.
into some
Yeah.
unreasonable situation.
Yeah, be able to put Kyle Hamilton in roles in which they are confident he can succeed in, and of course that role will continue to expand as his confidence and the coach's confidence in him continues to grow as well. But a guy who did not struggle at practice and continues to have just a spectacular camp both yesterday and today, Jimbo, was Isaiah Likely, who, like I mentioned earlier, beat Kyle Hamilton in all three of his one-on-one matchups, but also was a standout today in red zone drills where he caught, I think, 3 touchdowns. And what I really liked hearing is that Coach Harbaugh was asked about it afterwards, and he said that not only did Isaiah Likely do that, he did that when he was tired, he was gassed, and he found that extra gear, that extra level to go to when you're really exhausted and you've been asked to do a lot. And he made the plays despite the fact that he was tired. And that's got to be encouraging as a coach to know that there's going to be times in the fourth quarter where you're going to be tired, you're going to be gassed, you're going to be exhausted, but you're still going to be asked to go make a play. And it's good to know, at least early on, that he's showing he can do it.
Yeah, 100%. It's so funny, Glenn. This would be the third time out of 3 times. He was drafted after Kohler, right?
Yeah, another one.
Yeah,
Yep.
This would be the third time out of 3 times that the second tight end we've taken ends up being the more productive one. Now, it's not fair to Kohler. He's injured at this point. But I'm saying if it does shake out that way, not saying that it will, and I want Kohler to go out there and perform, and I'm not saying he's going to be a bust or unproductive or anything like that. But at this point, we only see Isaiah Likely, right?
Yeah.
So, with oh my gosh, who's the dude? Ed Dixon?
Yeah.
Ed Dixon and Dennis Pitta, obviously was Dennis. With Hayden Hurst and Mark Andrews, obviously was Mark, and potentially this situation would be the same. So I'm excited for him because mentally, like you said, Glenn, the hard part is the concentration. When your body's tired, you start to make mistakes. And so to be able to do that, not just physically, but mentally, big deal. Marco G says, what's good, Flock? You should have knocked on wood, Jimbo. JPP is a must, I think. Harbs finally gave an update on Tyus, which is great to hear. What did you hear about the update, Glenn?
Yeah, so, I mean, I was kind of, just to jump ahead, might as well cover all the injury updates that he gave in regards to those on the PUP list. Starting with Tyus, basically he said he's doing really well in his rehab, but they're in no rush to get him back. They want to continue to allow him to get stronger. Here we go. Thank you. So you can see Tyus Bowser is conscientious about his rehab, and J.K. Dobbins is making his a hurry, which is not always a bad thing. So it looks like basically what I got is that Ronnie Stanley and Gus Edwards and Tyus Bowser are still pretty good ways out. They're not rushing them back. All still expected. I think they're still hopeful that they'll be there week 1, but it seems like it's much more imminent, certainly with J.K. Dobbins, who is making it known that he is he's ready to go. And Coach, although he kind of backtracked a little bit, he did say it could be as soon as Monday to get him back on the field doing some individual stuff. But then he kind of backtracked and said, well, maybe not. So I think all these guys, they're being just super cautious with them.
I mean, why not?
Right. I mean, the good thing is, in regards to Ronnie Stanley, Coach mentioned they have a ton of right tackles on the roster right now and a ton that they feel good about. So they've allowed James to switch to the left side to continue to build depth there because they don't have the same depth at left. So what that's done is allowed Ronnie even more runway. But all we can go by is how he looks. The guy looks good. And yeah, it's like Adit brings up, and it's a good thing we didn't draft that guy, Trevor Penning. I don't know if you've seen the news out of him, but this dude gets in a fight every day, which honestly, I think if you gave some treats to him to some of their coaches, I bet their offensive line coach don't mind at all.
Not at all. Yeah, I saw some of those clips, and the dude is he's an animal.
Yeah, he's ready to fight anyone. But yeah, let's get back into some of the notes from over this. Go ahead,
before we do that, can we just provide some comedic relief? Is that how you say it?
I can try.
Comedy relief.
Yeah, you
some
had it.
comedic
Yeah.
relief. All right, nice. I see DK shaking his head, so I'll take that as my approval. Everyone's seen the news on Marquise Brown.
Oh, of course. Yeah.
And so I did see though that it's not as bad as it sounds, at least in my mind. If I understand correctly, that criminal speeding or criminal reckless driving, whatever the charge is, in Arizona means you're only going 20 over. Super easy to do in Arizona because the roads are straight. You're in the middle of nowhere.
I got a fast car.
Yeah. So if speed limit's 60, you're going 85. You don't feel it. So I don't know how fast he was going, but it is still comical to me at the end of the day that Marquise Brown has the injury, and then not that I'm hoping the guy has injuries or he ends up, getting in trouble or anything like that. It's just kind of those things you see and you got to laugh at, right?
Oh, certainly.
Who gets booked on speeding? Dude.
Here we go. Apparently, if James is correct in the thing here in the chat here, apparently he was going 126 in a 75-mile-an-hour zone. Okay, now that changes things.
Sure.
That is excessive speeding. Holy smokes, that's going. And you know why they got to crack down, Jimbo? We just saw a young up and coming possible superstar with the Raiders get in the same situation. In Vegas, and instead he killed a woman and her dog going similar speeds,
burned her to death,
and she burned alive in her car as the people watching heard her screaming. So while it's it's harmless in the sense that nobody got hurt in this particular instance, it's still extremely dangerous to go over 100 miles an hour. It was Henry Ruggs was the young guy who who took someone's life, and now his career looks to be over after. I mean, who knows where he could have gone? He could have been an all-pro. So you got to be careful.
Yeah,
man. Yeah, I mean, but look, I was young. I had a way too fast car. I raced. I had speeding tickets. So I mean, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm above that, because I certainly am not. But yeah, hope all things go well.
Do you think he was late to rehab?
I mean, isn't his nickname like the Jet or something?
Burn, DK. This is funny. It is the primetime Jet. Juwan James said going from right tackle to left tackle is like trying to wipe your butt with the other hand.
I thought about that when he said it, and I thought like that probably would be a challenge, because I don't know if you've ever tried to use a fork with your left hand or brush your teeth with your left hand.
I'm a switch hitter, dude.
Hold on. What do you mean you're a switch hitter?
I'm ambidextrous when it comes to wiping the backside, dude.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. I'm just making sure we're getting clarity.
I can go either way, dude.
Okay. Now I'm gonna put you to the test next time I see you and challenge you to scoop up some peas with a fork with your right hand.
Easy. As easy as pie.
Okay. All right. We'll see. Yeah, I'm not going to put it to the test, though. I'm not going to try and do what Juwan James is suggesting, because, I don't want any accidents. But anyway, look, we're not here to talk about that. Let's get back into some of the news and notes coming out of another good day for Lamar Jackson. Yesterday, he finished 23 of 31 in 7-on-7 and on 11-on-11 work. But did have a situation where he got a little frustrated, didn't get the playoff in time, and did punt the ball out of frustration. But outside of that, had a fantastic day, which is really exciting. Another sighting of Adam Thibodeau, I think his name is, his personal quarterback coach, out there again working, with Lamar and in conjunction with James Urban and Greg Roman. They asked Greg Roman about his take on having, because it's a little unconventional, a guy who's not on their staff in their, walking around.
Yeah, I don't even know what the
stuff.
rules are about that either. You know what I mean?
But Greg Roman welcomed it, said he loved talking football with him, and I think that.
What else can he say though?
Yeah, what else can he say? But also, you got to, because I was thinking, was James Urban going to have a problem with this? But the more I think about it, James Urban can't contact Lamar Jackson in the offseason. He can't do it. He's not allowed, thanks to the CBA. So I think he'd welcome having Adam work with him in the offseason. The question is, does he want him in his own backyard, kind of looking over his shoulder as he's doing his thing in training camp? That I'm not so sure about. But it's nice.
Kind of weird.
Yeah, it would be weird. Yeah, I tend to agree with you. But Yeah, that's all the notes I have coming out of Wednesday. But certainly a lot more coming out today. I'm
Yeah, let's
sorry,
see.
Wednesday. A lot more today.
Right. Yeah, I understood what you said. I understood what you meant. No worries. All right, let's talk about today. Let's turn the page. And before we talk about the Ravens, I want to take a quick trip around the AFC North. And DK, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor. While you just pulled up that video, I'm going to ask you to pull up something else, if that's okay. There's a video of Joe Burrow doing wind sprints using a golf cart while the entire team is doing wind sprints. So we have, ladies and gentlemen, a new Ben Roethlisberger in the AFC North, feeling his oats a little bit. Apparently, I saw the video. The entire team is doing wind sprints, even the trainers. And here comes old Joey B riding the golf cart, whipping it around and riding it back. Glenn, does that say anything to you about how he feels right now?
Oh, he's feeling himself. He's certainly he's thinking he's thinking his you know what don't stink right now, and he's feeling. But I'd have to know more context. But I'll say this: with just the information you're providing me, and no other information in regards to the situation, I got to think that there might be at least a couple fans. I mean, a couple of his teammates that might go, maybe he should be out here running with.
Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah. Now, so it doesn't look. He's not dressed at all for practice. So why? I need to know more information. Oh, he just had hernia surgery, Jimbo. That's right. He just had.
Oh shoot! You're right. You're right.
Thanks, James. Pointed it out. Yeah, he's. I'll give this a pass. Okay, Jimbo, you got to retract.
I'm not gonna backpedal too much. I'm still not.
Jimbo never backs.
No, I'll admit when I'm wrong. You're right. He had surgery. But,
yeah.
All right,
or appendix. That's what it was. It was an appendectomy. Yeah.
You should be
sports
running
hernia was Charlie Kohler, right? Was it Kohler that had the hernia?
Yeah.
So okay, yeah. So he had the appendectomy.
Look, let me say this.
I give him a pass.
My mother-in-law just had her gallbladder removed yesterday, and she's walking. So Joe, you can walk.
Come on, man. Let's not be too hard on the guy who just had.
I'm feeling a little bit like Skip Bayless right now. I'm just not a fan. And when I saw it, I was like,
"This is what it sounds like." It sounds like some Skip here.
Yeah, it just rubbed me the wrong way, and it was reminiscent of the Ben Roethlisberger days.
Now that's true, but of course Ben was doing it without an appendectomy days prior, just doing it because he's lazy, I guess.
Yeah, he's been retired for the past 8 years. Is that why?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. All right. So let's get into today. Yeah. So it was a hot one out there, guys. It was a scorcher. Yes. Anyone who's in the area and walked outdoors knows it was brutally hot.
Do you think the Ravens are, because of that? There, I saw notes that there were some guys like limping off the field with cramps and things. Do you think the Ravens are rethinking this early afternoon practice?
I don't think so. And so they had a bit of an unconventional way of doing things today. They had kind of like a simulated halftime.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, where all the players went in and gave an opportunity for their temperature to cool down, to get hydrated before returning back to practice. And I think it's just too early to make any of those determinations. I will say that it was hot as heck early when I left the house this morning. So I'm not sure what exactly the difference was. I think it would, been relatively close in temperature, whether they did the morning or in the afternoon. But they're sticking with their methods here and think it's going well. I do have a quick question for you, Jimbo. Fourth straight day, no Devin Duvernay. Third straight day, no Brandon Stevens. Is there growing concern around either or both?
I don't know. A bruise is a bruise. Like, bruises can be brutal and can limit you, but they're not detrimental. So for some reason, I don't feel too concerned about Devin right now. What was Brandon's thing again? I forgot what it was.
I don't know what it.
No, we don't know, DK. No. Yeah, so that one concerns me because of the mysteriousness of it.
Yeah.
Every time I think of John being ambiguous, it brings me back to Brashad Perryman days.
Yeah.
And every week he's going to be back and he's a slow healer and blah, 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 blah. Like that concerns me. So I'm not too concerned about Duvernay, a little concerned about Stevens, but at the end of the day, we got names at the position. What about you?
I'm a little bit concerned in that, we expecting Devin Duvernay to go into a much larger role offensively. And so you'd think that he could use and he could use all the work he can get. So I'm a little disappointed and a little bit bummed out that he's still out. But let's hope that he'll be back sooner rather than later. And then Brandon Stevens, same thing. I mean, this is a guy who's going from primarily last year playing a lot. I mean, he was playing a lot of safety last year to going to primarily cornerback. So, a little bit, I think that he needs all the work he can get too. And while we have a little bit more, I guess, I don't even know if, I guess we have a little more depth right now at the cornerback position than we do at wideout. So I think, maybe it's not as necessary to have Brandon out there with Armour Davis being out there doing his thing. Marlon still continuing to do his thing. Pepe had an interception today. So I think there's more depth behind Brandon. So it makes it less needy, but, man, he could use. I mean, you mentioned it when we drafted him, Jimbo. He's only just recently still become a defensive player. So let's get him out there as much practice.
He needs every snap he can get, right?
Yeah. So it's got me a little bit concerned. I'm not going to go crazy here, but let's hope those guys are back. And then also missing today, which appears to be vet days, was Nick Boyle, Justin Houston, and Josh Bynes. Although I will say, I believe Nick Boyle, he was back yesterday, but he missed the day before. So maybe it's not a vet day for Nick Boyle, or maybe it is.
Hey, he just said, Coach, heat, no pads. No thanks. I'm okay.
Yeah.
Been there, done that. Do I have to? No. All right, cool. I'm going to hit the weights. I don't know. I mean, at what point is it?
I mean, for Nick Boyle, yeah. I mean, this guy knows the offense. Just let's keep him healthy.
He knows what his job is.
Yeah, to just maul people.
Yeah, smash the guy in front of me.
Yeah, be a caveman. But as far as some notes, some highlights.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson hit James Crochet for a bomb of a touchdown. In fact, the ball carried a reported 70 yards in the air, Jimbo.
I think DK's got this one. Is that what you got queued up, DK?
Let's see.
Oh, shoot. I'm on pins and needles. Here we go. Here we go.
If that, I mean, a flick of the wrist, if that's the play that they're referencing, that's a flick of the wrist for it to go that far.
Yeah, it looks like they had a couple nice plays. Yeah.
Yeah, Crochet apparently had himself a day. You see him high-five the ref.
Yeah.
That was kind of funny. And good for Crochet because, look, this is a guy who's taking advantage of the extra opportunities with Duvernay out, and maybe he can turn these opportunities into some extra playing time once the season rolls around. A guy who's already expected to have a massive increase in playing time. Yeah, cool. It's nice to see.
Absolutely.
He's balling.
Yeah, no, for sure. And sorry, you were reading some notes on Lamar Jackson as well, right? Well, as far as his day breakdown.
Yeah, let's see. Well, I gave the breakdown of 2 days ago. Let's see if I can find, I don't see his breakdown of today, but I will say another fantastic day by Isaiah Likely. I mean, every day this guy impresses people more and more. Apparently he posterized someone in the red zone and had another juggling red zone catch. The guy is just an absolute monster. He is. Talk about a guy taking advantage of some extra playing reps. I'm sure with Kohler being out, he's getting maybe a few more reps than he would have. And I mean, it's impressive, Jimbo. I hate to be too hype about a guy.
That's the thing. I'm trying to be like cautiously optimistic,
Yeah. But I mean, he's given us every reason to be optimistic. The guy, every single day, we haven't heard these bad days. Now, when we were there, we did see a questionable drop with no defense, but again, he makes up for it with these spectacular catches over some pretty, big name defenders. It's not like he's doing this against an undrafted rookie who likely won't make the team. He's doing this a lot of times against some studs. So, man, is it too early to start thinking that Isaiah Likely could start? Like, is it crazy to predict that Isaiah Likely's got a shot at being the third leading receiver on this team?
Third leading receiver, huh?
I mean, behind obviously Mark and Bateman.
And what about Duve, though?
That's my question. Like, maybe not in yardage, but maybe in touchdowns.
Certainly in touchdowns, he could be 2. Who knows, right? But I'll say this. I mean, I don't think it's too early because there's certain things you can't teach, right? He's got he's a matchup problem, right? Like you can't teach the speed, you can't teach the sides. Who's the dude that came out of Maryland, tight end for the Niners? Is that Vernon Davis?
Yep, the speedster.
I'm not comparing him to Vernon Davis, right? Vernon Davis was an athletic freak. But my point is,
like a 4.3.
Yeah, Vernon Davis could have learned nothing about anything in the NFL, and he's just simply a matchup problem based on his physical gifts. And I think that Isaiah, in a certain sense, falls into that category because it's really, everyone talks about LeBron James. You're either big enough to guard him and you're too slow, or you're fast enough to guard him and you're too small.
Yep.
And that's just kind of what it's going to be with Isaiah Likely. And until somebody finds a way to remedy that problem, it's going to be an issue, especially when you got the best tight end in the NFL on the other side of the line, right? Like, that's a huge concern. And then you got the run game. We got the deception that comes with the ability to have him in there in blocking scenarios and catching scenarios. The kid's primed for a great start this year. And so I'm okay with people being optimistic and excited about it because, barring health, I think it's well warranted based on what we've seen.
Yeah, I am getting super hyped to see him because, Coach mentioned the way he was. It's not like he was doing this. All his plays were against, just the linebackers or just it was against safeties, linebackers, a big corner. I mean, anyone they put on him, he found a way to get open and make a play. So, excited about the young guy, Mr. Likely. Also, bit of one other news about some injuries that we didn't touch on earlier. Fullback Ben Mason also left practice about 10 minutes early with a trainer. Not sure any details behind that. Haven't had anything come up beyond just that, but not sure how much that really impacts, but hey, hopefully he gets back out there. And
we still have an axe to grind with Ben Mason, I think.
I think so too. Yeah. But it's good that Project Pack gets a break every now and then.
Yeah.
Okay, here it is. As far as Lamar Jackson news, apparently he completed approximately 65% of his passes today. Spread the ball around nicely. And mainly his main big target today was James Crochet. Shout out to Jonas Schaefer, who I'm getting a lot of my news from today, from the Baltimore Sun. What?
Forget how he's playing. This is what I gotta know, Glenn.
I
have to know, and you have to take a side, okay?
Yeah.
You do as well. Does the deal get done?
The deal's
much
done.
Money?
Deal gets done. It's $50 million a year. And it's second only in guarantees to the ridiculous Deshaun Watson deal, is my prediction. So 50 a year. I'm not sure where the guarantees will be. It'll be somewhere less than Deshaun Watson, but more than Kyler Murray, I think, who's second right now. Is it Kyler?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And there will be no clause in his contract making him do film study, which I think I heard that there were some people
they removed it.
Yeah, they removed it, but the reason they put it in there is because there was some concern of whether he was actually watching the tape that he was being given. That's kind of that's wild, dude. Yeah, it's really embarrassing.
By the way, I went when I was in Dallas. My brother drove me to Allen High School's football field, and it is like the size of the University of Maryland's football field, like the facility. I mean, it's that's where Kyler Murray played ball, and it's
where is this at?
Ridiculous. It's in Dallas, Texas, but it's
no shot.
Allen High School.
Dude, they have high schools arena stadiums there that rival college and pro.
That's what
stadiums.
I'm saying. I mean, that's it was. Yeah, I'll send you some pictures. It was absolutely ridiculous. I couldn't believe. I'm like, dude, you got to be kidding me that this is a high school. Like, how?
DK says he's been there too. Nice.
Yeah, I mean, it was ridiculous. It's a spectacle in and of itself. So, anyway, but DK, what are your thoughts? Does the deal get done? Obviously. So, Glenn, you're assuming it gets done before week 1, right?
Oh yeah, certainly. That's
all right.
Does
it get done before week 1, DK? How much?
Here we go. Drum line.
Yeah.
Oh wow, Jimbo. Yeah, that is it looks kind of like the Ironbirds entryway.
That's a high school. All right.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Looks like DK's typing it in right now. Let me just say I'm going to give a update right now because, of course, there is a football game on television right
It's
now.
the Hall of Fame game, right?
Yeah, we have the Raiders and the Jaguars just getting on the field. It's on NBC apparently. I'm trying to find it on my dial here. There it is. Okay, so I got NBC on. They just started their first drive, and surprisingly enough, there's some starters out there, Jimbo.
Yeah, apparently Josh Jacobs is playing it, according to the chat.
Which just blows my mind. I just saw him take a run and kind of break a tackle there. Wow, that shocks me. I mean, look, I get that. I see Dawson mentioned Leatherwood's playing, and that I get. I mean, he's a rookie, but what does Josh Jacobs have left to prove? He's led the league in forced missed tackles already. I mean, at this point, and they're just feeding him the rock. And I don't understand that. But
this is Josh McDaniel going full on Belichick, is what it is.
I guess so. Is Belichick known for playing his players?
I don't know. Just, Belichick is kind of old school that way. I think, DK's hot take. I think Lamar's going to work on a deal to work himself into ownership either now or in the future.
Whoa, that is a bold claim.
That is. I also heard that there is potentially the way that the deal will be structured, there will be an inflation clause in it or something like that.
Now that makes a lot of sense.
It's something that has been discussed. So that could be interesting as well. But let me say this. It's going to be clean, gentlemen. It's going to be clean. It's going to be done before week 1. DK, that would be incredibly interesting. I think that would be really hard to do, though, without an entire team. Not that he doesn't have an entire team behind him, but he, at this point doesn't have an agent. But would be interesting. So before we get to Marco G, I'm just going to say it. I've said it before. Gets done, $200 million guaranteed over 5 years, 50 million a year over 5 years, $250 million total size of the contract, or maybe a little bigger to have the biggest contract or whatever. But second highest guaranteed, like Glenn said, I think the number's $200 million. Okay, Marco G says, I think Lamar said there's a cutoff time, and some say it is before week 1, which would make sense. If not, Lamar might wait till offseason. I say 5 years, $300 million with $250 guaranteed.
Okay. I mean, that would be $60 a year. It wouldn't absolutely stun me. He did say that there is a cutoff and it's the season, basically. So if they don't get a deal done, then before week 1, then they'll have to shelve it until next season.
But Glenn, I want to kind of give a summary here because we're coming up on it. What are your, from the past 4, the 2 days we were there and the notes we've been able to read, give me 2 of your things that excite you most and 2 things that get you the most concerned.
Okay, so you got to start with Isaiah Likely. The potential that this guy could bring to this offense, I think, is big. I think he's a mismatch nightmare, and him, in conjunction with the guys around him, like you mentioned, Jimbo, with Mark being opposite him, I think he'll do a great job of taking the pressure and some heat off of Bateman because you got to account for his athleticism over the middle. And I think you can't just do that by sticking, your strong side linebacker on the guy and hoping that he can hang with him. And I don't think you can do so by just putting a safety on him because, he's going to push him around. So he's got me extremely excited. I want to see what this body transformation and what working with this Adam Thibodeau guy is really doing for Lamar Jackson this season. I want to see, what does that extra, however many pounds of muscle he's added do when, for him, when he's trying to get to the edge and does it help him fight off a tackler? Does it help him, push that 3rd and short into a first down? Does it help? I want to see what that transformation looks like, and I'm excited to see what it does for the deep ball part of his game because I think that's something the team was missing last year is connecting on those big chunk plays to help take some pressure off the run game. So that's the things that I'm most excited for. The biggest concerns I still have really haven't changed much. I still have my doubts and my concerns about the pass rush. Vince Beagle's injury didn't do anything to help that. And while I'm happy they brought Houston back, I still think, how did they get better from last year? to this year? Is it just with Oweh's development and the return of Dalen Hayes, or are we really kind of going to be dependent on the return of David Ojabo, whenever that might be, to start putting some pressure on the quarterback and take pressure off of a secondary that's in the process of still, kind of coming back. So that's got me concerned. And then again, something that is new, not different, not new. It's the receiver position, in that it's still so unknown. And now we have injuries to Devin Duvernay, now missed his 4th consecutive day. So yeah, it gives an avenue for Crochet. But if Duvernay isn't able to step up into a bigger role because he's missed so much practice, then who takes that? Who's the third guy? If Crochet fills that role, then who's the third guy? And then if that's the case, then who's, the 4th guy? So again, while I'm excited and hype about these young guys, I'm still so unsure. And also, we didn't talk much. Did we even talk about Linderbaum today?
No, we actually didn't. Of course, that was going to be one of my concerns.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. So, 2 things I'm most excited about. So this is funny because we talked about this Tuesday. The D line has got me stoked. The
Good
mix of young guys and young guys and vets with depth is exciting. So I'm really excited to see that. The other thing I'm excited about here, I know you mentioned likely, but I'm excited to see if any of these Gaithers has got me excited. It's got me wondering if any of these guys have an opportunity to make these teams, as far as the kind of not no name, but unknown wide receivers. I didn't mean in like a negative way or anything, but I'm interested to see. More than interested, I'm excited to see what kind of talent we can pull out of there and see if any of them make the team. But what I'm concerned about is the offensive line, not the entire offensive line, but certainly I know that Tyler Linderbaum walked off the field and I think he got stepped on, right, Glenn? Yeah, like it says here, he got stepped on. It was a physical drill, came up a little sore. They've looked at it, x-rayed it. They'll do an MRI to be sure, but all indications are nothing serious at all. Great to hear. We'll hold our breath until the MRI. I'm only reporting, not giving my opinion. I refuse. But I am nervous. That gets me a little concerned because he needs every snap he can get. And we still don't know what's happened on the left side of the line. And every day, for some reason, I get more and more nervous about it. While I wasn't before, I seem to be now. The other thing I'm nervous about is, I hate to say this, I'm a little nervous about the running back room because everyone outside of, like, the only known commodity we have at this point is Justice Hill.
Did you guys hear that?
Yeah, is that lightning?
That was thunder. Yes.
Yeah, it was going nuts here earlier. Our power was like, you're probably getting it
so
now.
If you lose me, sorry, there is a massive storm hitting the area. It's insane right now. Holy smokes.
So those are my excitements and concerns.
Yeah.
DK, give us yours. Then we'll wrap this baby up. We've had a lot of fun
and we do have a comment from Marco G. We got to get to.
We don't want to miss that. All right. DK excited about 1, Crochet's development. 2, good one. 2, backup running backs being more capable than last year. That's absolutely true. I mean, we were scraping at the bottom of the barrel last year. So DK is now making me feel better about my concern. Thank you, DK.
Yeah, I mean, the upgrade to these guys, not just the upgrade in talent, but when they got here. I mean, they're not getting here week 1 and trying to play catch up. They're here before training camp started, and I think that is going to give them, all an opportunity to be much more productive, certainly early on, but also it expands the playbook of Greg Roman, because when you show up, week 1, there's only so much you can show these guys. So now he's going to have his full playbook if, of course, the top 1 and 2 guys are not ready. So I certainly agree. DK is concerned about 1, Ben Cleveland's development, 2, Juwan James wiping his butt with the roll. That's good. Yeah. At least Ben Cleveland's out there, right? And he's not still fighting the battle that is the conditioning test. And I think what you mean about the Juwan James, I mean, certainly it's like you said, Jimbo, I think the concerns about left tackle and center are kind of intertwined in that if Linderbaum isn't able to go, then Macari has to go, in my opinion. And if Macari has to go, then who's your backup for a bunch of positions? It's probably a pretty steep drop off if Macari has to play center than if Macari was able to sustain his role. So yeah, let's hope that Linderbaum is just as they said, not serious, and let's hope that Ronnie is ultimately out there week 1.
Yeah, and let's get to Marco here. Sorry, DK. Gosh. All right, that deal will be a bargain in a couple of years. Plus, if I'm Bisciotti, I'd include a clause where Bisciotti gives Lamar $10 million paycheck for every Super Bowl. I mean, yeah, I'm sure that maybe there'll be some incentives in there to win the Super Bowl, but I agree with you in that the deal will be a bargain in a couple of years. We'll see what Joey B's contract is here soon, Mr. Golf Cart himself. So that'll be really interesting to see amongst other guys. Baker Mayfield certainly is up for a huge contract. Totally joking. That was a Sam Darnold up for a huge contract. No laughs. No. All right.
He's trash. But I tell you what, I think he's got a real shot at winning that job.
Yeah, no kidding. Anyway, I think that's it for us tonight, guys. We're excited about the Ravens. I think overall, all things positive. T's and P's out to one. Beagle. We hope he gets back well and continues to recover. But I had a blast tonight, folks.
Yeah.
Should we give some shout outs?
Yeah, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah. Don C. Always out here. Freaking Don, man. Always out here and always on Twitter commenting. Glad you DM'd Nana to let her know that we were live. We double dipped this week. So shout out to Don C for joining us. Nana Rave. Let's see here.
Shout out to Mucho Mango, one of my favorite drinks growing up.
Really?
The Mucho Mango Arizona, dude, was the jam back in high school. So shout out to Mucho Mango.
I've never even heard of it, to be honest with you.
I see DK has. No?
No.
Never heard of the Mucho Mango, dude?
Mucho Mango.
Somebody in the chat, has anyone heard of the Mucho Mango, dude? No? Oh, man, I'm disappointed. It's the old Arizona, the tall boy? No? Anyway, but thanks to everyone.
Yeah.
Have a good night, and we will talk soon.